Welcome back. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. That's right. That's right. We are back in another week for our metabolic optimization. We are working to reverse diabetes, improve our metabolism, get off of medication, decrease our weight, improve our blood pressure and our cholesterol, get rid of the fatty liver, and set ourselves up for metabolic success as we move through this week and as we move through the rest of our lives. And here in this space, we have an opportunity for us to do and incorporate one of those fascinating things that we talk about as one of the tools for our metabolic optimization, and that is fasting. So welcome wherever you are joining us from, whether that's on Facebook or Twitch or Instagram, of course here on YouTube. We're welcoming you to our space right now. If you are joining us because you heard, you saw, someone told you, you saw some of our product or our content in one of your social spheres, whether it's your doctor's office or the hospital, or you saw it in your church or your community center, welcome to you once again for coming through and hanging out with us. If you are from Atlanta, Berean, hey, welcome to the space. If you are from Nashville, Riverside, thank you for coming through, and shout out to everyone else who is there. Wherever you're joining us from, if you go ahead and drop that in the comments, because we'd love to welcome you and say hello. We know we've got folks who watch us from Korea. We've got folks from the Netherlands, from California, from New York, from Georgia, from, of course, here in Alabama, from Ohio. We've got some folks from Florida. So just drop in the comments where you are watching us from so that we can say hello to you and give you a quick shout out. Those of you who are joining us and you have been fasting with us, this is the end of your fast. You've been doing a 24-hour period. You started with us yesterday when we ate our last meal. And by the way, if you have not done so, go back and watch the episode from yesterday so you get to see what my last meal was as I got into this week's fast. But if this is the end of your fast, you're getting up to the end of your fast, 24 hours, congratulations, and hats off and kudos to you for, number one, for taking the time and taking the opportunity to do something for your health. All right, that's the first thing. I want to give you kudos for that, and give you a shout out because you have decided that you are going to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to be healthy. Right, so that's number one. Number two, kudos to you because you made it 24 hours. Right, and so we've been asking folks, as you have been walking along this journey with us, to work your way up for a 24-hour period. So wherever you are, whether you're doing right now, whether you're doing an 8-hour fast because you're sleeping, or you're doing a 12 and 12, or 16 and 8, whatever it is, congratulations because you've worked your way up to a 24-hour period. So all of that, I want to take my hats off and give you kudos, give you a shout out. Which I had some balloons and some streamers and all that stuff, some noisemakers to shout out and give that to you. So congratulations for those of you who are ending today. If you did end your fast today, and you're ending today, or you may be a couple of hours behind us, if you're ending your fast today, go ahead and put today in the comments. All right, drop that in the comments. And I want to know, what is your last or your first meal? Right, take a picture of it, send a message to any one of our social media platforms, and drop that in because I want to know what you are eating as you are getting into your non-fasting window. Okay, go ahead and do that. For those of you who right now are getting ready to start your fast, we are doing a 72-hour fast. So some of you did it yesterday. Some of you are starting today as your fast. And so you're about to get into your fast for 24 hours. I want to know what you're eating as the last meal. Okay, so if you fasted and you ended today, you're putting today. If you are getting ready to go into the fast, I want to know what is your last meal that you're eating as you get into the fasting window. You can drop that in the comments, drop that in the chat. You can send us a picture, because I want to see pictures. I want to see pictures of what you guys are eating. It might give me some ideas of some things that I can add into my my repertoire as I am fasting and breaking the fast, right? Because I want to give some variety for myself. So go ahead. I'd love to see what you're doing as well. So for those of you who are starting today, remember, one of the things that we want to make sure is that you're getting good rest as you move through the rest of the fast. Make sure you're staying hydrated as you're into the space, and make sure that you have something that you have provided for yourself, or something that you have scheduled to keep you distracted, right? So whether you are learning something new over the next 24 hours, or you've got a book that you're going to read, or you have some friends that you're going to get together with, if you are going to go see a movie, so something that you have actively, intentionally thought about, that's going to help you as you move through the fast. Okay, so make sure that you're doing that, and of course the hydration and the getting good rest helps you in that process, because we want to make sure that you have the best possibility of success as you move through the rest of the fast. And so once again, if I had noisemakers and balloons and streamers, we'd be sending that to you right now. And then, of course, those of you who are going to be fasting with us tomorrow, you're going to be starting your fast tomorrow as we get into the last leg. We're waiting, right? We're gonna give you a shout out as we move through that next week or tomorrow. But for today, for everyone, I am very proud of you for showing up, and proud of you for making those decisions. Just like I said to the people who are ending their fast today, for making a decision that you are going to do what you need to do to be successful in terms of your health. And that, after all, is what our limitless living right there. That's what limitless living says that we do, that we are showing up with our best selves, our best plan, and the best plans, and our best health, and the best plans for our health. All right. So as we move through this week, just some quick things I wanted to say, and some shout outs. Well, not shout outs, some things I want to comment about. So on the YouTube channel, if you're coming to the new YouTube channel and you've been here before, you will notice that we have some changes on that main page. Most of the videos are off of the main page, and the only things that you will see there, of course, one is the video that's going on right now. That's the live. Then you'll see a playlist that says Start Here. And that playlist is with the intention of getting you started as efficiently and as quickly as possible as you join us as we take this journey down the road to healthy metabolism. That's the first thing. There is a PDF that you can download, a free PDF that categorizes the videos and really gives a title so that you know, okay, when I'm done with this group of videos, this is what I should have learned. This is what I'm learning as I go through this. So make sure that you get there and you download that PDF. Below that, you will see a list that says this week's videos. This week's videos on Limitless Living with Dr. Dwain Woode. And that is the set of videos that we are doing this week. So our main show that was done on Monday, you'll see that video in there. You'll see the videos for our walking, so our strength, strategy, and mindset that we've done this week. You'll see the video from yesterday when we started the fast. This video, when we're done, is going to show up in that list. The videos from tomorrow and tonight, all of those are going to show up in this list. So if you ever come and you say, well, what are we doing this week? I know I've been on the path. I'm walking down the Start Here path, and I'm on the journey. But where are we this week? What are the topics we're talking about? What has been going on? What's the fasting? What has he been doing? What has he been eating? If you want to know that, this is the playlist that you want to look at, and this says this week's videos, so that you are always able to jump in and see what's going on right now in near real time. So you'll see what's happening for this week, okay? So that was done specifically to be able to streamline the YouTube channel, to be able to streamline your process, to be able to help you streamline your journey as you are making decisions about your health. And I don't want this to be a complicated thing. I want you to be able to jump in and begin watching those videos. So we've curated those videos in that Start Here list, so that these are the pivotal things that I want you to know as you're moving through the path. The videos for the rest of the videos we've done now over 2,100 videos that are uploaded on our channel. All of those videos are still on the channel. So as you're going through the playlist, right, that Start Here playlist, you will come across a topic that you want to delve further into, that you want to get more information about. All those videos are still on the YouTube channel, and then you can go and find those videos in the other playlists, right? So there are other playlists there. There's one that says how to fast successfully, how to reverse my diabetes. All of those are still there, but they're not on that main page. So if you find a video and you listen to the video and say, hey, he just mentioned, for instance, we talked about balanced bites or the heat model. He just mentioned one of these things. Let me go find out more about it. You can then go and on the channel search and find the videos that are talking specifically about the things that you want. If you're sending people to the YouTube channel, that is how I would describe it to them. Say, when you get there, start with the Start Here videos and walk through that process. If you want to catch up with where Dr. Woode is right now in this week, go ahead and look at those videos in the this week. If you go to our website, you'll see it replicated there as well. So we've got there's a welcome message from me at the top of the page, and then down below there are two blocks that you'll see, two buttons. One of the buttons says start watching the videos, and then the other one says download the free PDF. Right. So once again, all of that is with the intention of allowing you to jump in as quickly as possible so you can get started as we are moving to the space of being metabolically healthy. All right, so tonight we will be checking in at 33 hours. Right now I'm right about 24 hours into this week's fast. As you know, we do a 72-hour fast once a week. So tonight at 9 o'clock, we'll be doing our show, our check-in show, as we move through the rest of this week. Now, so you're joining us and you've been kind of dabbling. You want to know what's going on. Why are we fasting? What's going on? So let's talk a little bit about that. So fasting is a tool that we are using to improve our metabolic health. I position fasting for a lot of people. I tell them it's kind of like when you go out and you buy a building or you get a house and the house needs renovating. What you do is you go in and you begin gutting the house. You tear down walls and you take up carpet and you throw out the old stuff that's in the house and get it ready for the new stuff that you want to do. Because you're going to come in now, you're going to maybe put up a new wall, you're going to fix one of those load-bearing beams that was there that was damaged, you're going to put down new floor, new carpet, you're going to put on drywall, you're going to put in drywall mud, you're going to sand, you're going to paint, right? You're going to do all that stuff. But before you can do all of that, you want to gut the house and you want to get it ready for the process. And that is what fasting does. Fasting is a way of resetting our metabolism and getting our body ready for all the things that we are now going to be doing in it. So what are those things? Let's talk about the things we're going to do first, right? The things that we're going to do is we're going to install a new operating system into our body. What does that mean? That means that we've learned how our body works, and we learn the things that make our body move and work efficiently. Whether that's the foods that we eat, the sleep that we're getting, the mental mastery that we're getting, the strength training, the walking, all of those are designed, right? Those are the things that are creating the house, and we're putting up walls, and we're putting up new paint, and we're putting up new floors, or putting in new floors and carpeting. Those are those things that we're doing after we have gotten the house ready. And the thing that gets the house ready is the fasting, because it resets our hormones, it gets our muscles moving, or it gets our muscles toned and ready to accept the new hormonal signals. It helps to re-regulate the dysfunctional hormones that we have. Because right now, in most of our bodies, the hormonal response that we have does not function the way it was designed to function. Right? So ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone, is dysregulated. Our insulin levels are too high. Our cortisol levels are too high. And during the process of fasting, those become regulated again, and they are primed for all of the other things that we're now going to be implementing in our body. So that's where you find us. And so fasting being a tool, if we are using the tool, if we want to use the tool, we want to make sure that we're using the tool efficiently. And so when we're doing our fasting, when we're doing these check-ins, it is with the intention of helping us understand how to use the tool, what benefits we're supposed to get from the tool, when to use the tool, right? All of that stuff. It's kind of like having a hammer or a screwdriver. I want to know, well, when do I use a hammer, right? So sometimes it seems obvious. Well, hey, there's a nail that needs to go in. Let me go do that. But how do I use it? How do I hold it? What types of hammers are there? Is it a ball peen hammer? Is it a regular hammer? Is it a mallet? What am I doing, and how do we use that effectively? And so that's what the fasting is. We do a complete review of fasting, how to get started fast, how to get through the fast, and how to end the fast on Fridays. And during the rest of the week, we're talking about different components of fasting. Once again, if you didn't see our episode yesterday when I started the fast, in that episode, if you go back, you get to see me talk about the food I'm eating, the meal I was eating, as my last meal prior to the fast. And then when you come on Friday, you'll see what my first meal is that I'm going to eat after the fast. And then, of course, here during the fast, several things that we want to make sure that we point out and make sure that you're paying attention to. One, make sure that you're hydrated. If you're not hydrated well, then that can cause problems for you as you move through the fasting, because if you're not hydrated, then you can feel lightheaded, sweaty, dizzy, and particularly as you're doing one of the longer fasts, right? If you're doing a 24, 36-hour fast, if you're not hydrated, then you can have that feeling that you're feeling drained. And it's not that you're drained, it's just that you are your body's transitioning, is in the process of transitioning from burning carbohydrates to burning fats. But because you're not well rested, then you feel that transition as though it's a drop in energy. So remember, the things that we do outside of the fast can affect how we successfully get through the fast. So make sure that you're maintaining good hydration. One of the things that, and you may remember me telling you the story that I took back. This was back now, several months. That I took some of our church, the young people at our church. We took them camping, and so I was out there before the camp started, and just making sure everything was in place. We had mowed the area. We're putting up tents now, and so I was out there. Everybody had come, and some people had gone to do different things. So now I'm sitting out in the field by myself, and I was on the heels, probably kind of the middle of fasting. And I had not done a good job of hydrating. And so I bent over to, I think, put a steak in, and then I stood back up. And when I stood up, right, it was like I had, my vision went dark for a couple of minutes. And so I'm standing out there, and I was, okay, I've got to, what's going on? And my car was off in the distance. I said, okay, how am I going to get to my car? I ended up getting there, but part of what was going on was because I was fasting, because I wasn't eating. When we don't eat, we also don't pay much attention to drinking. So make sure that as you're going through the fast, that you're remaining hydrated. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you are rested. As we just mentioned before, if you're not well rested, then your body will feel that transition from carbs to burning fat more profoundly, and that can cause difficulty for you. So once again, wherever you are, wherever you're watching us from, just go ahead and drop that in so we can say hello to you. I'll put that in the comments, and wherever you find yourself. If you ended your fast today and you started the fast yesterday, this is the end of your 24-hour period, go ahead and drop that in the comments and just put it today. If you're starting the fast, if you right now, this is the beginning of your fast into tomorrow, I want you to go ahead and put a 2, right? Because that says that you're fasting here now on the second day. If you're going to do the third day, which starts tomorrow, put a 3. And of course, if you are with us and you're fasting for the entire time, go ahead and put a T in that in the comments. So this week, we continued on Dwain Woode MD Live, our concept in this mini series that we're on right now called Play Your Own Game. And so we introduced that last week, and this week we continued the idea that often we're playing somebody else's game, and when we are playing a game that we didn't buy into, when we didn't commit to, when we don't know the rules, when we don't know the outcome and the reason for what we're doing, then that can cause some friction. And so when we run into challenges, when we run into some obstacles, then it's easier for us to discontinue or to not continue down that pathway, because the game wasn't our game in the first place. Okay. I remember my son used to play soccer when he was younger, and we would come, and there were kids who were playing soccer that didn't want to play. They didn't want to be there. Right? But mom and dad probably said, no, you're going to be on the soccer team. And they would show up, and you could tell that they didn't want to be there. Right? So they weren't very engaged in the game. They didn't seem as though they were giving all to the game. They would let people, run with the ball without going after them. They wouldn't block. Whatever it was, you could tell that this was not their thing. And when we are in a game, when it comes to our health, that is not a game that we want to be in, your metabolism and your health journey suffers. And so what does it mean to play your own game? Play your own game does not mean that we are throwing away the parameters and the goalposts that we know. There are some things that we know. We know that your blood sugars should be in a certain range. We know that your A1C is best at a certain place. We know that blood pressure and cholesterol, and we know that weight needs to be in a certain place. So we're not throwing those away, but what we're saying is, how do we get there? And do we understand why we're getting there? Do we understand why we need to get numbers in that range? Do we understand what happens if we don't get numbers in that range? Not just that, oh, they told me that such and such is going to happen, but we understand how the body functions and why the body is doing what it's doing in that situation. Often we blame the body for things like weight gain. We blame the body for the fatty liver. We're like, well, I don't know why my body's doing that. Well, the body doesn't just do what it wants. In most instances, I want you to listen to this right here. In most instances, when we see a disease process in the body is responding to something else. When we see high blood pressure, your body didn't just decide it's going to have high blood pressure. Or when we see your weight go up, the body didn't just decide I'm going to just put on weight. The body is responding to something else. And so if we can understand what the body's responding to, because the goal of the body is to keep you alive. And so the response that it gives is with the intention of keeping you alive. Now that can go awry, but it didn't just pop up and decide it was going to do that. It's responding to something else. And if we can understand what it's responding to, and then we can turn around and fix that thing, then the body gives us a better response. Or we can decrease the chances that it's going to give us an abnormal response. Or we can reverse some of the things that are going on in the body in part of that response. And that's the space that we're in. So playing your own game, first of all, means that we got to understand. We can't just go based on what they told me. I can't tell you the number of times where I have someone come into the office and we will be talking. I say, well, why are you doing such and such? I said, well, that's what they told me. Well, they told you that 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Is it still valid? Did you understand what the reason was? I talk about my son a lot, and one of the stories that I like to tell about him is that when he was younger, there were things that we told him not to do. Just like parents will tell kids, don't climb up on the table. Don't go up the stairs. Right? And so those things that we told him to do were safety parameters. Don't go up the stairs because there's nobody around to make sure that you don't fall, because he was young. Don't climb up on the table, right? Don't touch the stove. Now, if I never come back as he grew and said to him, hey man, going up the stairs is not wrong, but the reason we didn't have you go up the stairs at the time was because you weren't old enough. There wasn't anybody around. then he could potentially grow up thinking that going upstairs is bad. Notice that it is not the stair that's the problem. It's the fact that there was no safety parameter around him. And so if I don't come back and do a good enough job of explaining that to him, he grows up thinking, okay, well, I guess stairs are bad. So what does he do? He never goes up the stairs. And so we've done that a lot in medicine, and particularly when it comes to our metabolism. We've come up with a list of do's and don'ts, and we never explain to people, why did we come up with the list of do's? And why did we come up with the list of don'ts? Because there are things that are on the do's, the do's and the don'ts. There are things on that list that we say you should do that may not be appropriate for you. And there are things that on the don't list that we say you shouldn't do that are perfectly fine for you. But if you don't understand where those lists come from, then you're playing a game with parameters and a game board that was given to you that you don't understand. And we've created a situation where we've taken people and we've pigeonholed them into these little blocks. And they can't move out of that block, and they cannot explain, and they can't not explain, but they can't apply the things that we're talking about in real life. And so they feel like they're always in this pen, if you will, and they're boxed in. Do you know why we manage diabetes? Do you know why we treat metabolic disease? We're treating metabolic disease, and we're treating diabetes and prediabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and all of those, because we're trying to help you stay alive as long as possible and be as healthy as possible. So why do we want to do that? We want to keep you alive as long as possible and have you as healthy as possible so that you can enjoy the things that come from life. Hanging out with the family, traveling, enjoying the fruits of your labor. Some of us, we've been working for years and years and years, and now we're ready to retire, or we're ready to begin doing some of the things that we said we're making money for, and we can't do it because our health is not where it needs to be. So the reason that we treat these diseases is because we're trying to keep you healthy and keep you going and keep you enjoying life so that you can have a good life. So if that's the case then, and then I take you and I put you in this little box without explaining to you how to enjoy yourself in the box, then I've really not accomplished my goal. And so as we're walking down this pathway, the pathway is designed to help you stay alive as long as possible and to be as healthy as possible. So that's the ultimate goal. I want you to listen. So the ultimate goal is really not your blood sugar. The ultimate goal of the process is not to control blood sugar. It is how do we get you in the space that you want to be in, to enjoy that space, enjoy the family, enjoy watching your daughter walk down the aisle or walking your daughter down the aisle. How do we help you stay around long enough to teach your grandson how to fish, or teach your granddaughter how to play the piano, or teach or get your family together, right? So you guys have had this health journey that you guys have been on that's been detrimental to the family. We've had people who have heart attacks, and we've had people who've had strokes, and we have people who are on dialysis. And you want to be the one to break that family dynamic. That's why we do what we do. It has nothing to do with blood sugar. It has everything to do with how do we position you in a place where you and your family and your friends and your community are growing and developing in a way that brings joy. So I tell patients when they come to the office, often, you will hear us talk about blood sugars. You'll hear us talk about, are you checking? Are you exercising? Are you eating right? But I want you to translate those words into, he's trying to figure out how to keep me alive as long as possible and keep me as healthy as possible. Because when you play that game, Yeah, when you play that game allows you to make decisions that you would not normally make. When you think, okay, if I do this, I'm going to be able to watch my daughter get married, watch my grandson grow up. I'll be able to take my wife or my husband or my kids on that vacation that we wanted. And I'm going to be able to be involved with them. Because right now, my back is hurting. My weight is so high that my knees are hurting. They're telling me I've got to have a knee replacement or a hip replacement or whatever kind of replacement. But if I can become healthy, if I'm playing that game, then the choices that I make are different. But if I'm just going along, I'm playing somebody else's game, it doesn't mean anything to me. And I do it begrudgingly, and there's no joy in the things I'm doing. Now, let me give you, this is my final example. I remember when I left college, and I had really no concept of money. And so in my mind, money was this thing that was out there that I used, didn't think about saving. And I remember when my then fiance, now wife, we were talking about finances and hey, we want to do these things, we're going to get married and so forth. And I was a little bit grudging. I came into this saving thing not totally excited. Okay, so we got married, and we would get our budget together. And there's this guy around here that we really like now who was talking about putting money in envelopes and saving and so forth. And I did not like that idea. But once I realized and understood the benefits that come and that came early on from what we were doing, then not only am I like, okay, let's do it. I'm putting money now in envelopes. Let's do that. Notice the transformation. The transformation occurred because I now understood. Because now it made sense. Because now there was a benefit that I could see and that I could touch. And so for many of you, the very first question that you've got to answer, if you're going to play your game, is the why. Why am I doing this? What benefit am I going to get from doing this? What ultimately do I want? Is the retirement and taking advantage of all the work that you've put in. It's the watching the kids grow up and finally take their place in the world. It's the watching those same kids now produce offspring, children that are yours. And as grandparents, you spoil those kids. I'm telling you, y'all spoil them. But you get to now infuse your family, the lineage, with your flavor, your skills. You get to be around to watch that generation grow. You get to travel and see all the places that you wanted to go. You get to get down on the floor and wrestle with your grands, with your children. You get to play basketball and watch your kid beat you and be proud of them. You get to watch your son grow up and come to your practice during the summer and watch patients and talk to patients and watch him and say, man, I'm proud of him. That's the reason why we treat metabolic disease. And if you buy into that, if you're able to see that and embrace that, you begin to play your own game. Hey, I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that you've decided to take advantage of this opportunity, right? To tie in, to become involved with us as we are walking through this path of improving our metabolism. Here we are in another fast for this week. Congratulations to those of you who fasted and you ended today. Those of you who are starting today into tomorrow, and those of you who are going into starting tomorrow into the rest of the week. Congratulations for taking that opportunity. If you've been dabbling, if you've been watching, if you're not quite sure how to put your toe in, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to do this. We do this every week. We're here. Come join us, right? Come jump in. And whatever fasting phase you're in, if you are not quite at 24 hours, that's okay. Start where you are. If you're doing a 12 and 12, make it a 14 and 10. If you're doing a 16 and 8, make it an 18 and 6. But our goal is to work our way up to be able to fast at least once a week for a 24-hour period. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. And remember, limitless living says that we are not going to be constrained by any external or internal inhibitions. Nothing is going to stop us. We're going to push through the obstacles. We're going to break through the barriers. We are showing up with our best self, our best health, and our best plans, and we're going to be successful. Now go, live a limitless life. And we'll see you tonight, 9 p.m. for our check-in, and then tomorrow as we walk through the rest of this space.